Heather here and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a super huge massive unhaul. This is going to be the first unhaul I have ever did. I'm very much the type of person who I used to be like, I can never get rid of my books. I have to keep all of them. Like, they're all mine. I want them all. But I've realized that I have accumulated way too many books, and there's some books, or quite a few books, that I'm probably never going to read, and or I started buying a series and now it's just so big that I'm never gonna like buy all of them and like read them all, and there's really no point. Or there's series that I've bought and then the authors never come out with the last book. And why have a series that isn't complete? So yes, this is actually such a big haul, I'm gonna have to split it into two parts. So this will be part one, and then in several weeks I'll have part two up, because I am completely surrounded by books right now that I am going to be unhauling. Most of them I'm probably going to take to Wonder Books, and then the rest, like a few like nicer books that I have, I'm going to try to sell on eBay. So that's what I'm going to be doing with all of these books. And yeah, I'm expecting each part to be at least a half an hour, if not longer. So I would suggest, if you're wanting to watch the whole thing, get a beverage, get some food, and yeah, I hope you enjoy this. So let's get started. So the first like series I'm getting rid of is the Inkheart series by Cornelia Funk. I read the first book, I read half of the second book, and I never got to the third book because I can't. I started reading the Inkheart book when I found out the Inkheart movie was coming out, and it was just, the writing is just so dry in my opinion. I just couldn't get into it. Then I watched an Inkheart movie, which, unpopular opinion, I loved it. I thought it was amazing. It's one of my favorite movies. So I pushed myself to finish the first book, but then I just couldn't get into the second book, and I'm not going to force myself to read a series that I just don't like. So I think because I have like all of them in hardback, I'm going to be selling these on eBay because they're in pretty good condition. So yes, gonna try to sell these here. Then I have I think this is the Micah Gray series by Laura Lim. And this series here, I think the final book did come out, but I never got it. And I read the first book, and it was okay, but I wasn't, like, crazy about it, and I never ended up reading the second book. And, yeah. But yeah, I don't think this series ever got really popular. It's okay. It's about a hermaphrodite named Micah Gray, who's been living as a girl, and she ends up in this situation where, well, she goes by she at that point, and then changes, but she's like flirting with this guy, and he finds out her secret, and so she like runs away, and I think she joins the circus. Yeah, she joins the circus as an aerialist. And yeah, there's like I think there's like magic involved and different stuff like that, but it's just like, it was okay. I basically got it because of the circus aspect of it, but I didn't feel like that was really a main part to this book. So, it was okay, but eh. So I'm going to be probably selling this to Wonder Books. And then I'm going to be getting rid of my Percy Jackson and the Olympians series. This, I read the first 3 books, but I never got to number 4 and 5. And I honestly have no desire to. I know so many people love this series, and like they say it was one of their favorite series growing up and whatnot, but I just couldn't get into it. Then it also focuses on a 12-year-old boy, so I've kind of noticed that things that are centered around like middle school or elementary boys, like I don't really connect with it. I can't really like relate or get into the story, so I'm probably going to be selling these to Wonder Books. Then I have this book here, Unnatural by Michael Griffo. I think this was a vampire, like, academy story, and it's like a series, but I only got the first book, and I didn't really like it, and I don't ever plan on continuing it. So, yeah, this I'm probably going to also sell to Wonder Books. And then, so Janet Ivanovich has the Stephanie Plum novels. And I remember watching the movie based off of the first book. I absolutely loved it. I read the first book. It was really funny. I was picking up a whole bunch of books from, like, Goodwill and Wonder Books, and, like, got some free ones from, like, people who were giving away books. And I've just never read any more of the series. And I think now it's up to, like, book 28 or, like, 30-something. And I'm just never going to read them all. So I'm getting rid of all of these books. I got this one. I have 2 for the Dough, 3 to Get Deadly. I have Hot 6, 10 Big Ones, 11 on Top, Hard 8, 12 Sharp, Plum Lovin'. Yes, that looks like all of those. So I'm going to be selling all of those to Wonder Books because I'm never going to read them. And I have too many books, and it's such a huge series, I don't have room for them. Like, if I really wanted to, I could probably get them for a decent amount on my Kindle, which I might eventually do, because it is a fun series. Like, I really enjoyed it. It's just so long, and I've only read the first book. I'm pretty sure the series is still going. So there's no way I'm ever going to catch up with the series with all the other books that I need to read. Then I have the Maze Runner series. So I have the Maze Runner, the Scorpion Trials, the Death Cure, and the Kill Order. And I've read the first 2 books and watched the movies. And I honestly didn't really like either. Like, it's okay, but it's like, it's dystopian. It's kind of like been there, done that. I'm not interested in finishing it, and yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be selling this on eBay or selling it to Wonder Books, but they just gotta go. Then I have, not all of, but most of, the Chronicles of Nick series. And this is by Sherilyn Kenyon. And Sherilyn Kenyon does, like, I think it's like the Dark Hunters, like, supernatural, like, romance story that kind of focus around, like, the Greek mythology. And I really like those books. My mom has, like, bought, like, almost all of them. And then this is, like, her young adult series that she came out with. And it's kind of, it seems like, the first book seemed like it's about zombies. It's like a zombie story, which I wasn't really expecting, since that's not, like, what her other books are about. They're about, like, sexy Greek warrior men who, like, find their, like, soulmate, and you get, like, their horrid, like, stories of them back in, like, Rome, and then, like, how they're, like, how they've lived through the centuries and all this stuff, like, kind of like Highlander, which I love Highlander. So, I really like that series, but this one, about a teenage boy fighting zombies. And I know Nick does, he's not one of the warriors, but he's like, almost like, an assistant or something to one of them or some of them throughout, like, the Dark Hunter series. So he's in those books, I believe, as an adult or a young adult. We're here, I think this is maybe before those, I don't remember, but I read the first book, I didn't really enjoy it, and at that point when I was like, well, eventually I'll finish it one day, so I'll get the rest of the books, and now I realize I'm never going to finish it. I might as well be done with it. So I'm probably going to sell these to Wonder Books. Then I have another Pan and Another Faust by Daniel and Dinah Nayuri. And these, I think the other one is Another Jekyll, Another Hyde or something like that. And it's like a trilogy. I kind of really want to read this one. But at the same time, I feel if I read this one, I should read the other 2. And I don't have the 3rd book. So I just think I'm going to sell these to Wonder Books because I don't know if I'm ever going to get around to them, and I really don't want to buy the last book if I don't plan on ever keeping them. I know I could probably borrow it from the library or, like, get it on my Kindle or something, but I have so many other books, it's not a priority, so I'm letting this one go. Even though I am interested in it, I just don't think I'm ever going to get to it. And then this series makes me sad. Really, really sad. So it is Laini Taylor's Dream Dark series. And it's supposed to be, I believe, a trilogy. At least I know a third book is supposed to be coming, but that third book has been coming for years now, and there's still no release date for it. I never started reading the series, and if there's not a third book, if it's never going to be completed, I don't really want to waste my time reading an author's series that they're not going to finish. So it breaks my heart a little bit that I'm going to be getting rid of this, but it's just not worth it. I can't keep it blocking my shelf when I don't know if it's ever going to be finished. So it's sad, but I'm probably going to sell this one to Wonder Books. And then the next one is The Amber House. This series by Kelly Moore, Tucker Reed, and Larkin Reed. And this was supposed to be a trilogy. Yet again, the third book never came out. I recently bought these not knowing that it was supposed to be a trilogy. So I bought both of these, I believe, from Wonder Books? Wonder Books, or I don't know, I got them cheap somewhere. And then I realized, oh, the series has never been completed. I was just like, well, I'm glad I didn't buy them brand new, but it's not finished. When did the last book come out here? Yeah, the second book came out in 2014. It's been like 7 years. I don't think the third book is ever going to come out. So I'm sadly going to be selling these back to Wonder Books. Then I got here, I forget what the series is called, if it's the Face on the Milk Carton series or the Janie something series by Carolyn B. Cuny. I remember watching this movie back when I was like in elementary or middle school, and I really liked the movie. And I ended up finding, I think, all of these on, like, at Goodwill over the years. And I read the first book, and it was okay. But then, like, they have What Happened to Janie, The Voice on the Radio, What Janie Found, and Janie Face to Face. And I just don't think I'm ever going to read them. Like, I liked the first book. I read it. But these have been sitting on my shelf for years. They're older. I think these were all written in the 90s. So they're, like, older YA. Like, when... Because I think YA... like literature didn't really start till like the late 80s or something. So like in the 90s you had like Valley High, you had The Babysitter's Club, you had like these very serialized series that like really tiny books that go on forever, and it's just, it's a big commitment that I don't feel like making anymore, so I'm just gonna sell these to Wonder Books. Then I have the Genius Squad by Katherine Jinks. I read the first book in the series and I have the second book. I never got around to the third book. I liked the first book, but I don't like it enough to keep going. I mean, the books don't match either, so, like, I don't really want them on my shelf. And so I'm going to let these go. I'm going to sell them back to Wonder Books. But they were entertaining. I will say that. The first book was entertaining. It just wasn't for me. Then this one also makes me sad because, Morgan Rhodes wrote the Fallen Kingdom series, which is 6 books. It's kind of like a high fantasy series. I think I read the first 2 or 3 books of Fallen Kingdoms, and I have a couple more books to get, which I love that series. I just kind of lost interest, but I'm going to get back there. So I do want that series. But this was a spin-off series that I think they came out with like 2 or 3 books, and then it got canceled by the publisher. So I bought the first book. The series is canceled. They're not making any more. So I sadly am going to have to let this go, and I'm probably going to sell it to Wonder Books, but it makes me sad because I actually do really like the Fallen Kingdom series, and I wanted like all the books for the series, but they're not gonna write them. I can't make it a priority, you know. Then I have Eon and Eternity by Craig Bear. This book, I believe, I got at a Goodwill. I'm pretty sure it's science fiction, and I've come to realize that most science fiction I don't really like. So I don't think I'm ever actually going to read this. So it's going to go to Wonder Books. Then I have The 100 and The 100 Day 21. The writing in this was okay. I read the first book, and then I never read the second book, and I don't think I'm going to continue the series. I loved the first season of The 100 on the CW. After that, it kind of went downhill in my opinion. It was okay. And the writing in these books are also just okay. So I just don't think I'm ever going to read it. Also, it's dystopian, but it's also kind of sci-fi, so it's also really kind of not the genre that I'm into. I've noticed that the sci-fi I like is more like space exploration or like surviving on a ship type of things. Like, that's more like what I'm into when it comes to science fiction. Then I'm also getting rid of Prophecy of Sisters by Michelle Zink. I've never read this. There's, I think, 3 to 5 books in the series. I'm not really into stories that are about sisters. Like, I'm reading this one right now called Displace by Bridget E. Baker. And if you have been watching my, like, what I read videos and you've been, like, seeing, like, my TBR list, like, it's been on my TBR list now, like, I think since, like, February, and I still haven't finished it. I don't really connect with sister stories. Like, I have a sister, but, like, we weren't really that close growing up. We fought all the time. Like, things are better now that we're on our own and our own people. We're not having to share a bedroom and stuff anymore. But it's just, like, I just don't jive with sister stories. So I don't think I want to invest in a story that's about something that I don't really enjoy reading. So that's going to Wonder Books. And then this also makes me sad. So I have Maureen Johnson's Shades of London series. And I've never started reading this. I think I started buying it when the 3rd book came out. And then there's supposed to be a 4th book, but she's working on her Truly Devious series. And when did this book come out? And I think I got this because Cassandra Clare recommended it. Yeah, this book came out in 2015. So it's been 6 years. And there's still no release date. I think on Goodreads the last time they said was like it was supposed to be coming out in 2018. It's now 2021. So, yeah. I'm not going to keep this series on my shelf hoping that one day it will get finished when I can just maybe buy it on my Kindle if I really want it that badly. And then don't freak out, but I will be unhauling, these of, I can't hold it, it's too heavy. My big editions of the Throne of Glass series. These are all the ones I bought, and then I ended up finding about the miniature edition collection, and I went and bought all of those. So I have this whole series. It's nice and small, it's compact, it takes up less room, which Heather likes. These aren't special editions or anything, they're just the originals that came out, the hardbacks. So I'm going to be selling these on eBay. Or if anyone on here, because I know hardbacks of these are kind of hard to find. So if anyone watching this wants them, let me know. I'll sell them to you. But yeah, they take up so much room. So as soon as I found out about that the miniature series, I was like, yes, that is what Heather needs. I need the small books. Okay. Then I'm also getting rid of The Last Apprentice, Revenge of the Witch by Joseph Delaney. I got this book because the Seventh Son movie was coming out, and I love Ben Barnes. I'm a Ben Barnes stan. I love him. So I wanted to read the first book before I watched the movie. The movie was okay. The book was okay. I'm not going to finish this. Yeah, that's all I have to say. It was just okay, and I don't have any desire to finish reading it. Then, this is another one. The movie was coming out. It's all vampires, so I was like, oh, I want to read it. I want to know what it's all about. So this is the Cirque du Freak series. So I believe this one has 1, 2, 3 in it. And this is book 4. I read the first 3 books. I never read the 4th one. It's a huge series. I think there's like 15 plus books in it. And it was good, but it wasn't like amazing. And the movie was enjoyable. They kind of took like the first 3 books and kind of meshed them into a movie, which was really strange, but it was enjoyable. I just don't think I'm ever gonna want to get the rest of the series and read it because it was just okay. I think I probably ended up giving them like 3 stars on Goodreads or something, so it's gonna go. This is another one that makes me a little sad. I really love Applin Pike. Like, I think I bought most of her books, but I believe this is supposed to be a trilogy. I got the first book, the second book has come out, and the third one is just like sitting there. Like, there's supposed to be a 3rd book, but there's like no information about it. So, will it ever come out? I don't know. And I've never read the first book, so I might as well just let it go. So yeah, to Wonder Books it will go. Oh, here's another one. Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion. Watched the movie. I really enjoyed it, so I got the book, but I never read the book. And then there's like four books total in it or something like that. So I'm just not that into zombies. Even though I bought like a whole bunch of zombie books, I'm just not really that into zombie stories. So I'm gonna sell this to Wonder Books. And then I have Night Shift by Charlene Harris. I really love the Sookie Stackhouse series. I'm almost finished reading it. Like, I know it's been out for years, but like, I think I'm on book 10 or 11 or something like that, so I'm almost done. And then I have like the companion novels and everything, and I really like it, but I just don't know if I want to get into another. I think this series only has like 4 books or something, but I just don't think I'll ever read it. Or if I do, it'd probably be better just to have it on my Kindle, because I mean, mass market paper books don't look that great and they just take up a lot of space. So yeah, I'm just gonna sell this to Wonder Books. Then I have this book here, The Girl from the Sea by Shalini Boland. I believe this book was given to me for free. It says for fans of Gone Girl and The Girl on the Train. I've never read either of those. I've never watched the movies for those. Just doesn't seem that interesting, and I don't think I'll ever pick this up. I mean, it is a psychological thriller, I believe. Oh, no. It's a chilling suspense story of wounded hearts and dark secrets. I sometimes, like, if I want a thriller, I usually get a Ted Dekker book because he just does it so well, and there's, like, a moral message there, too. It's not just, like, someone's crazy. So, yeah, I don't think I'll ever pick this up, so I'll just sell it to Wonder Books. And then, this book was given to me, too. It's called Final Destiny, The Future Reign of the Servant Kings by Joseph Dillow. I think it's a theology book, and it's so big. Like, I honestly don't think I'm ever going to read this. Like, it's a nice thought. It looks interesting, but it would just be such a big commitment. And I have another theology book that I started reading that I haven't finished yet, so I just don't think I'm ever going to get to this. So I think I'm going to sell this to Wonder Books too. Alright, so that's everything for the first half. I think this is probably right around like the half-hour mark. So we're going to end that first part here. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. Also, if you're interested in some of these books, I am going to be trying to post some of the nicer ones onto eBay in case you wanted to pick them up for yourself, especially those Throne of Glass hardcovers. So I know those are out of print and very, very sought after. And yeah, I hope to see you all next time. Bye-bye!